Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Khalil Doheny, and I'm the Director of Content Marketing at Digital Niche Agency. Today, we have Jeff from Target Arm. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Khalil.
Of course, of course. And while people are trickling in, do you want to kind of just go into your background and really what we can expect from the webinar today?
Sure. I'm Jeff McChesney. I'm the CEO and founder of Target Arm. And the objective today is to introduce me, obviously, and then also talk a little bit about Target Arm as a potential investment. I'm a former F-15 combat fighter pilot and commander. I ended up with a bunch of multiple jobs. And since I've gotten out of the military and stopped flying, I've had 6 startups that I've been involved in. This is my 6th startup and by far my most fun one that I've ever been involved in. We continue to move forward with Target Arm.
Awesome. And yeah, excited to get this going. I know you have a presentation set up for us. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen, go through that presentation, and we're gonna have some room at the end for some Q&A.
That'll be awesome. Okay, thanks, Khalil. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and if others can continue to come on in, they're welcome to join. Again, I'm Jeff. I'm the CEO and founder of Target Arm. Some disclaimers here on the front page, which is if you're making any investment decisions, obviously you need to go to the Start Engine site. All of the financials and all of the filings are there. And that's the official place to make an investment decision. This is ancillary information we're going to be providing today and give you the opportunity for probably at least 2/3 of today's call to ask questions. I'll field those questions with whatever interest you may have. I'll attempt to do that as we move forward in time. There's certain things I'm not going to be allowed to be able to talk about, and I'll tell you if I can't. But if I can't, it's going to be on the website at Start Engine, and you'll be able to again make that investment decision there. So what I'm going to talk a little bit about is Target Arm, the market that we're in, and then some of the things we're doing with Target Arm right now, which we've been updating, but I'll try and summarize to give you a feel for where we're going and what we're doing. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A. Khalil will then moderate those at the end, and we'll just go right on down them with the available time and answer any of the questions that you may have as we go forward in time. So I've already done my introduction. We very much appreciate your time to be here today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the progress of robotics and autonomy. We're in this space every day, and many other people are not. So we're going to talk a little about our view of what we see and what's happening around the world and how that impacts what Target Arm is doing, and obviously from an investment perspective. And a little bit about the market overview, where we're participating in at least one niche of our market, which is the package delivery market, and size that for you to get a feel for what's actually going on and where it's going into the future by some current research and estimates that are associated with it. I'll then give you an update on Target Arm, some of the things we're doing, some of the contracts we have in place, and where we're trying to head towards based upon what's happening in the commercial and in the military markets, and then open it up for Q&A. So I'll probably go about another 10, maybe 15 minutes, maybe even faster. It depends on what kind of speed that I've got going on. I tend to talk fast, so if you need to back me up later in the Q&A, ask me to re-show a slide. I'll be happy to do that as well. But I'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to do is kind of give a level set of what's going on in robotics and autonomy. In our world, we're seeing this every single day, as I alluded to earlier in this call. But most people are just starting to feel some of the autonomy and some of the robotics that are around them. So you might see a robotic arm someplace doing something in your business or in a warehouse or wherever you happen to be. Or you might see something happening maybe with a delivery inside of an airport that's handing something out of a vending machine. And those are early robotics capabilities, which are just automated movements. But what you're going to start seeing rapidly in the background is many other companies like Target Arm are developing robotics and autonomy solutions, and they're evolving extremely fast behind the scenes, and they're getting ready to break into the marketplace pretty much all simultaneously. And we're talking a couple of years, it's going to be quite pervasive. So some of the areas that you're looking at here for use cases from cleaning, automated lawnmowers now, you're getting inspections in agriculture with delivering herbicides and the farmers not having to go out there and do that themselves. Logistics is the area I'm going to be focused on today, which is about package delivery and the movement of the logistics capability across society. retail, manufacturing, hospitality, construction, defense, aviation. All of these areas simultaneously are receiving robotics capabilities, which are as good, if not better, than a human can actually perform the mechanical features. And the autonomy capability is evolving, and it's basically divided into a scale of 5. So if you think about it on a scale of 5, where are we and where were we? In the beginning, in the 1950s, when they started talking about autonomy and AI, we were at a 0 because nothing could do anything other than you would tell it to do something or you'd actually manipulate it. And then we started getting autopilots and capabilities that started showing up. And that's evolved over time to where we're probably about at 2.5 on the 5 scale. From going from no impact, it doesn't do anything, to actually it's making all of its own decisions and doesn't even need a human involvement. 2.5 is where we have a human normally on the loop. And the human on the loop is either deciding to do something or monitoring what's going on. And we're right at that evolution between 2 and 3 right now. So if you take a look at one of the things that many people are associated with, which would be automobiles, and you're taking a look at the Blue Cruise like I have on my car, it allows the car to make the decisions and for me to monitor it. Okay, that's like at 2 to 2.5 on that scale. But all those other technologies around this entire circle are doing the same things. And so in a warehouse, you're getting things delivered, you're getting things pulled from the warehouse and be put into a package. The robots are kitting stuff and putting them in packages and sending them off. So the entire logistics chain and the environment of working is going on with robotics, and that autonomy capability is getting smarter and smarter and smarter every day. Then what ends up happening is that you get real live solutions. These are real live solutions I've just shown you here in these various areas, and there are thousands more that are going on. These are operating and being tested and being refined every single day right now, to where you've got airplanes that are flying on their own. You've got vehicles that are going through the woods on their own or on the roads on their own for delivering packages. There are trucks that are operating on our highways today. They have a driver behind the wheel, but not driving them. Again, at that 2 to 3 on the scale is where we are right now. And all of these capabilities are happening all simultaneously and feeding off of each other. So the capability that you learn in one arena can be transferred over to the other arena with autonomy. And then you overlay this autonomy capability as it's continuing to expand. It's encompassing all of them simultaneously. And we are talking about 2, 3, maybe 4 years out. It's going to be very pervasive, that many of the mechanical things that you're seeing done, you're going to see a human or you're going to see a robot doing similar things next to them, or maybe even in lieu of them, or maybe to help them with a human machine interface that allows them to work together. And there are many solutions that are being designed to do just that. But this autonomy capability is encompassing all of them simultaneously. This affects target arm just as much as any of these other technologies. And then laid on top of autonomy is machine learning. So the machine actually is receiving inputs and stimulus and actually in looking at it, what's going on, and gathering that data, thousands and thousands of points. Tesla is a major decision maker in this, where they're getting hundreds of thousands of vehicles a day autonomously sending in information about what's happening, what they're experiencing. And then they're turning around with that and using AI now, artificial intelligence, using the models that are built around that to actually make prescriptive decisions about what they're going to be doing when they see something that has never been programmed before. And that's when we head up towards level 5, and the actual autonomy can be making its decisions, and you don't even have to monitor it anymore because you've got such high confidence. And so there's a confidence level that follows us from 1 to 5. 5, you're fully confident that it'll do what it's supposed to be doing, and you've got confidence that it'll actually do in the manner that you expected it to be doing it. The human on the loop is an ethical discussion. That's not what we're doing today. We're just talking about what's coming in the marketplace. And this affects target arm because we are in the robotics and autonomy space. Our 2 large devices are robot. The drones that we're doing with our wraparound flight controllers are robots. And we're operating in an arena where we're designing autonomy in those to operate so that no human actually has to push the button or fly the airplanes into too large to be captured while you're on the move. Okay, so I'm going to switch right now from the emergence capability, robotics and autonomy, and just talk about one particular market, which is the shipping and package delivery market. So if you take a look at the global logistics chain, it's over a $10 trillion industry. about everything that's moving for someone else to deliver something across the globe. That's a massive market. That's last year and growing considerably every single year, and will continue probably as long as the population continues to increase. So the global logistics market is the first thing that we're going to segment out. And then what we're going to do is take a look at what the global shipping and package delivery market looks like, okay, where we're just taking just the package delivery now, not, heavy goods that are moving, cranes and telephone poles and stuff that aren't going to be delivered. And the delivery market is about a $1 trillion global market. Again, a massive number that we're participating in. We're in here, and I'm going to be breaking it down for you to see where it is. But these are just massive numbers for a market, and those are today's market, 2023. And the USA has got about 1/5 of that, about $200 billion, and the global shipping and package delivery market is broken down in the USA. We have a very mature market. Chinese market is actually bigger. And then you could talk about the European market, yes or no, depending on which research study you're looking at. But they're all fairly large here. And the US is a $200 billion market. I'm going to focus in on the US only now as we go forward. But we obviously have in Target Arm the availability to do globally on top of what we're doing. And you can see where that breaks in. So the next slide takes that breakout of that $200 billion, okay, and then says, okay, what are we doing with Target Arm now? Now, Target Arm has the capability, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, of delivering, and we're going to talk just packages at the current moment, delivering packages autonomously from moving vehicles, okay? And so the breakout of this is 1.5% of that $200 billion market last year is autonomous last mile delivery. So it's a $3 billion industry, $3 billion already, and we're not even allowed to really do most of it yet due to regulations. So it's growing at an alarming rate, which is 34% CAGR. That's combined annual growth rate, cumulative annual growth rate, sorry. And it's growing to 25 billion in 2030. So that's a fairly aggressive growth path. That's autonomous last mile delivery. Now, within autonomous last mile delivery, you have in America drone package delivery. Okay, in 2022 to 2030, 2022 is when we started allowing testing to go on, where the FAA would allow packages to be delivered and allow that to actually be observed and to start refining the procedures and the processes for doing that. And that's going to grow by 2030 to be a $5 billion market just for drone package delivery. Okay, and that CAGR is 49%. The way to think about CAGR is that right there is indicating that every 2 years it's doubling as you go forward in time at a 49% CAGR. In fact, it's even faster than that. The other objective to this is of that package delivery market, the service obtainable market, the one that we're out after that is in the package delivery capability that's part of the USA, is that where we're heading for is about a $287 million of revenue that we're estimating will come to Target Arm by year 5 of commercial operations. Now, we've not entered commercial operations just yet, but we're at the cusp of that in discussions with Hyundai Motor Group and others in the commercial arena. Definitely, we're starting to get really close on the military side as well, and I'll show that in just another slide or so. The key component to this is that the market that I'm explaining to you does not include any other markets for Target Arm. We are in the military, we're into first responders, we're into inspections, we're into agriculture, any place where you can see where you would have a vehicle that you don't want to stop. You want to inspect oil rigs out in West Texas, in the basin out there, and you want to do that faster. You can do it from a truck. You can launch the drones and recover them as well. So there are many use cases that are out there that are well beyond what even the package delivery market is. But I want to scale it for you to show that the market is growing very fast, and we're right in the middle of that. So now I'm going to switch a little bit on over to where we are with Target Arm. Many of you are familiar with this. That's why you're probably on the call with us. And that is that we have an integrated product line that we're now bringing to the market. This is going to be a little bit further along than you may have seen before. But TULAR is our signature device, and that enables you to launch and recover drones from any moving vehicle. And the key component of this is autonomously, tying back to that robotics and autonomy capability we were talking about before. so that the driver does not need to be a pilot, and the pilot doesn't even need to be in the same state, much less in the same hemisphere, if you even cared about that. And what we've got is the Toolar device that we're showing, our version 3.5 right there in the middle. That is our first commercial device. It is built, it is operating. We've been testing it. We've been showing it at demonstrations and at trade shows. And we're able to recover both fixed wing launches and recoveries with fixed wing, as well as rotary wing, because our system is modular and scalable. We can make it larger by adding pins, or we can make it smaller by reducing the number of pins and the size of it. So for the one on the left there at the bottom for fixed wing, that's actually 5 feet across. The one in the middle is only 30 inches across, to give you a scale for the different sizes that we have available for us. Now, the integrated product line that we have are 4 major products. The first one's the Toolar device, which I just showed you in the previous slide, for launching and recovering drones on the move autonomously. And to do that, we have a sensor fusion engine, which pulls in all the different sensors that we have running predominantly on the drones. And we bring that together with our tracker sensor fusion engine. And that tracker sensor fusion engine gives us the localization capability to say, while we're moving, how do I fly to the point I need to be captured? And that point we're currently operating with is sub-millimeter accuracy, which is, we're talking distances like this that we know we need to go towards due to tracker. Very, very smart system, very capable system. And we're getting lots of traction for people just wanting to have that capability amongst all the others that we have. The third product that we have is called TurboFly, which is a wraparound flight controller. And TurboFly basically takes what a human can do by flying a drone. If you've ever seen anybody fly a drone, they've got the controller with the little sticks. I'm a pilot. I'm going to tell you right now, as a highly experienced pilot, either drone pilot or me as a fighter pilot, we operate between 5 and 10 hertz, which means at our goodness, when we're really, really good at it, we might be up to 10 times per second adjusting what we're seeing. Our capabilities with a wraparound flight controller are at 100 hertz to 300 hertz, so 10 to 30 times faster than the sticks can be moved, or I can actually fly an airplane. So they're very, very accurate. Now that we know where we need to be due to tracker to be highly accurate, the wraparound flight controller actually gets it there. And then the last thing we have is a Maestro mission controller. That allows us to operate multiple Toolars with multiple drones and to manage those so you've got the right size drone to go on the right size Toolar, because we're going to have various sizes. Now, all 4 of those products evolve into all of these commercial markets onto the right-hand side. I've alluded to some of them already. On the commercial side, package delivery is by far the largest market at $10 trillion, as you saw. Oil and gas, first responders, agriculture, and even land management, looking out for the Bureau of Land Management. They've got a massive problem that they're trying to see with the large real estate issues. The military, we have an Arsenal modular mission payload, which we're going to talk about in the next slide. Special operations vehicles, we can be on airplanes like the C-17 cargo aircraft. We've had a contract on that. We're applying for another contract right now. We can be on combat vehicles, manned or unmanned. And we've been under contract right now for convoy protection. So I'll give you an idea of what we're doing and where we're going. We've been working very closely in the commercial automobile market. We've had 2 major impacts or interfaces with Hyundai Motor Group. The first one was a proof of concept, POC, that we had in November of 2022, which they contracted us to build a device, which we took to Korea and demonstrated for everybody there in the headquarters. And then we did a demo a year later in Detroit in December, and they currently have a purchase order in hand, and they're making a decision whether or not they want to actually purchase some Toolars as our first commercial customer. That's their determination, not mine. I'm just giving you the update of where we are right now. We also have a DoD contract in place right now to do convoy protection for the fixed wing drones. Ryan and our team are working on right now about autonomous recovery. We've already demonstrated autonomous launch for a fixed wing aircraft from a Toolar device. We also are under contract for a sensor fusion engine, as I referred to in the previous slide, which we call Tracker. And that sensor fusion engine is to actually make it better than it even is right now, which is already pretty outstanding. And it's so good right now. We've also been selected by the Air Force to help them do autonomous air-to-air refueling. So a tanker and its boom and a receiver, how do you get close enough to do that and make it accurate? We were involved in that. We've been selected to do sea trials on board the Navy's and the Naval Special Warfare, the Special Operations folks, the M80 Stiletto ship. We're expecting to do that this fall to go out and do those sea trials of launching launching drones from Toolar to and from the the ship while it's moving. And then we've also been selected to be a part of Thunderstorm 24-3 with our modular mission payload. And that's the Tular device that we can just take off and put onto any vehicle that we want, literally in about 3 minutes. It takes 4 straps, or if you want to bolt it down, you can too, but 4 straps, it's down. It's good to go because Tular is completely self-contained, battery operated, and has communications built in that's encrypted as well. So that modular mission payload we're going to be doing with DoD on top of that. We have many other things that we've been working on that we hope to be sharing with you in the short future here, or the near future, that will add to this list and show you where we're going and what we're doing. The innovation is happening extremely fast at Target Arm. Every time I go to the lab, there's something new that people are working on. I was blown away today by the 3D printing process that they're working on today, literally today, as we go forward in time. From the commercial side, one thing I just want to make note of as we get ready to move on to the question and answer period is that the FAA controls all the airspace over the United States. And their number one charter is to remain safe. So they started off in the, when they initiated the FAA and gave it its charter, was to protect aviation with humans on board. So airplanes that had airliners and general aviation, how did you mix those and match those? How did you manage that airspace? And then you have this explosive proliferation of drones that are occurring inside the United States. Give you an idea, there's about 1 million or plus commercial drones already operating in the United States. Most of them can't go outside of the pilot, and only 1 pilot per 1 drone, and we're already at 1 million. What's going to happen over the future with the addition of robotics and autonomy is what's called beyond visual line of sight. And that's going to allow certain companies to have the ability to launch 1 pilot for multiple drones, and then 1 pilot for drones that can go outside of their view and across the country. They're starting to let some, they're basically airlines that are allowed to fly drones to and from, across the United States. And there are 6 areas in the United States the FAA is allowing commercial deliveries right now as a test case. These will expand with the procedures and the systems that get put into place, and we'll eventually have full coverage of drones inside of the national airspace, but we're not there yet. So the commercial solutions, like we're going to do with package delivery, like we're going to do for automotive adventure seekers, and others that would want to use these things on the commercial side, is they're being held back by the regulatory environment, but they're at the cusp of being exposed to that and expanding that relatively rapidly. I'm planning on doing a later on webinar at some point here in the future with the former administrator of the FAA, and we'll share that when that actually occurs in time. But it'll be well after this round closes. Okay, so there, that's kind of just an overview, give you a context of what's happening here. I'm here for you to answer your questions, and so Khalil will start receiving any questions that you may have put forth, or you can ask them right now, and then he'll bring those forward to me, and I'll be happy to address those. Yeah. So Khalil, do we have any questions in there?
We do. We have a couple that are coming in. But just want to remind everyone there are questions we cannot answer due to SC guidelines, and Jeff has it here on the bottom. With this preface here, due to SC guidelines, we can't talk anything that's forward-looking, anything that's really about the financials or any projections. If there are any questions around that, please visit the Start Engine page and ask the question in that update section. It just has to be available for everyone. The first question I'm seeing here is, what are the main challenges Target Arm faces in scaling its operations, and what strategies are in place to overcome them?
Yeah, so the number one challenge for scaling the business is capital. Okay, and that's why we're here. is that you cannot grow and expand indigenously unless you've got a wild market like maybe Facebook had that is just they can't keep up with the market. We're coming into a market that's growing right in front of us. So I've tried to time it where we're developing our technology to get what's called minimally viable product. In military parlance, it's called TRL-7 out of a 9 scale. But that is, the product actually does what it's doing at the time that the market is now accepting it in the capabilities. So the first market that started showing up was the military market. And so they were ready to pay, they were ready to get involved, they were ready to step forward because they don't have the airspace restrictions with the FAA like the rest of the commercial market. So we've been timing the R&D capabilities that we've had to get towards that. And what's happened right now is that we're right at the cross where the market and the R&D are crossing, and that's why we hit our minimally viable product this year with Tular version 3.5. To scale that faster, I need more capital. If I had $10 million, I would hire more people. We'd do more R&D. We'd get to TRL 8. We'd get to TRL 9. We'd add more capabilities. We'd bring another product to market. There are other things that we would be doing. And that would then turn around and help me build out the sales and marketing staff. The sales and marketing has been held down because of this. I've been holding it, been predominantly putting the money in towards the R&D, and now it's time to shift it into growing the company.
And then could you discuss the specific roles the $3.5 million in R&D funding from the U.S. Air Force, Space Force, and Army will play in the development of Tular?
Yeah, so it's been outstanding actually with the relationship that we've had with multiple contracts. We've had 8 small business innovation research contracts with the Department of Defense across those various agencies that you just listed, Khalil. So the idea here is that they were early into the game, willing to put money forward for us to get from, and again, DoD parlance is TRL 3, 4 up to TRL 7, which is a minimally viable product for commercial use as well. The idea about Tular is, and the products that we have, the other 3 products that we have, is they work in any market. They don't have to be just military or working for just agriculture or just for package delivery. Any Tular R&D that we do, anything that we do on Tracker or TurboFly or for Maestro works in every other industry that we're talking to. So when you take the $3.5 million, it's now, it's growing beyond that even. But that $3.5 million that we've gotten from the DoD has helped fund that progression and that evolution of the R&D that we've turned around, and now we're getting to the minimally viable product. So this is actually funded us without having to go to the capital markets like we are right now talking with you. But both of those are combined to help accelerate us going forward. We've raised about $2.3 million. It was at 1.8, and as you can see on our website, we've now got about another $500,000 already that is on Start Engine. Those two are now up about $2.3 million, additive to the 3.5 to help us develop this and to help us accelerate. So the idea here is that the R&D from the military has been extremely beneficial. The small business innovation research capabilities that have been developed by the Small Business Administration have worked for us. We're very, very excited about it.
And can you provide more detail on the serviceable addressable market for Tular? And then what sectors are you targeting first and why?
Yeah, so the on the service addressable markets that we're talking about, again, using the scales that we talked about to bring those on down, is that the model that I'm showing you right there, the data that's available to you is purely the package delivery market. So this $30 billion capability that we're talking about, heading towards in the $25 to $30 billion package delivery market, is really just one market. Okay, that's not all the other markets. So like I put on the bottom of that page is that we have all of the military market with its 200,000 vehicles plus, just in the US, not even counting overseas and allies. You have your first responders, a massive market capability, fractured and hard to get to, but it's also in every single town, in every single county, in every single state as well, about how do you actually use drones for disaster recovery and various other use cases that they have on the local environments. None of those are built into that market today. And so the service addressable only is looking at the package delivery capability. And then what that would actually evolve into, with a segment of that actually being put onto vehicles and being delivered by drones. It's not the whole market. It is what we estimate to be part of the market that we're going to be going after.
And then how does your solution improve efficiency or cost effectiveness for your clients?
This is a let's just talk package delivery. There's the efficiency on the military side is all about mission success, right? Being able to, one of the tenets of the military is to be on the move. It's called operational maneuver. The idea is that if you stop, you get shot. So keep moving and try and increase the targeting problem that you give the adversary. So moving is a basic tenet of what they're doing, and therefore being able to launch and recover drones without having to stop, set up, build the drone, launch it, have to recover it back to the ground. Very easy concept for the military to understand. The issue that then turns around for what does it look like for the commercial side is that, where do you see the market going, and how much would it cost you? Now it's an ROI decision, not a save your life decision. And then the ROI decision, if you take a look at some research that was pulled out by ARK Investing, that we've cited on the website as well, is that it's the last mile of delivery. So when a package deliverer from one of the package delivery companies delivers to your house, and they're probably doing it multiple times a day for people on this call, is that it's costing $4 to $5 to deliver that box or package to your front door or to your business. So that's the driver getting to where they need to go, getting out, walking it over, whatever they happen to be doing, on average, $4 to $5. With a drone launching from the vehicle, okay, that estimated cost to the last mile delivery drops from $4 to $5 to 25 cents. That 25-cent delivery capability is a 95% reduction in cost. That 95% reduction in cost can be transferred into additional profit, obviously, for the package delivery company. It will, we estimate, will actually accrue to us, right? Because we will be able to drive out tremendous cost and improve performance and increase throughput simultaneously. So the ability to deliver, when I did an estimate previously, I worked with some MBAs to help build this estimate out of NYU. And that estimate is if you took a package delivery truck and you turned around and said, how many packages can you push through that on an 8-hour shift? And they gave us the numbers to do that. We then turned around and said, okay, how many could you push through with drones launching off of it? We estimated, and again, we believe these numbers, which is 3 times the number of packages you could push through it. Then when you take the driver off of the vehicle, because now you have a driverless autonomous vehicle and you have automated loading of the packages and the drones, now you can operate 24 hours a day instead of 8. And now you get 3 times that. So it's a 9 times improvement that's not built into that 25% reduction in cost even today. So what we see is a unbelievable future for us. Again, it's our belief that these numbers are going to turn out to be true. And even if we're off by a little bit, the numbers are just staggering for new reliability, new availability, greater productivity at much reduced costs.
And, there's a lot of talks right now with AI. How does Target Arm, envision integrating AI and machine learning into its future drone technologies?
Those are great questions. Great questions. So one of the things that we do at Target Arm is that we're kind of like old school, new school simultaneously. So we have people that are new school, which is bringing in computer automations, machine learning, gathering data, running simulations thousands of times on what we're going to go do, and then we go out and do it. So we turn around and we say, okay, we've simulated it, we've looked at it. So this is called modeling and simulation. You can use machine learning to come back into that. Sorry, machine learning. You can bring in the data back into it. That only makes that model much better every single time as you go forward in time. And then what you turn around and do, you say, okay, we went outside and we expected the answer of 3 and we got 2.5. Okay, why did our model tell us that? And why did our empirical study with a prototype give us the number of 2.5? Now that we understand that it's 2.5, we go back into the model. Now we're using machine learning and capability of data that we're collecting to say, we need to adjust what we're doing over here with the modeling and simulation. And then we tighten that down and we get the answer of 2.95. 2.55. And we go back outside, it's still 2.5 with the prototype. And we start tightening these down on both sides. So sometimes we get the computer simulations giving us a number or a capability. And then we see when in the empirical testing and the prototyping, a different answer. Many times they're the same. So when we go out and we say, this is what we expect to see, and we actually see it occurring, gives us validation that our modeling is good and that we need to be focused in on other areas, because we're always looking for what's not actually becoming reality coming out of the simulations. Now, AI is a much larger play that's going to be coming in over time. And this is part of the growth pattern in the earlier discussion you had, which is, what do you need to scale? I need to scale to bring in more AI. And the reason is that with AI, you've got to bring in a learning module, okay, that's going to turn around and say, okay, how do I actually ask the right questions, learn the right answers, and then change what I'm doing, and we can automate all of that in the process. That still doesn't give us the answers when we do the empirical study outside, flying the airplanes, flying the drones, and working on the roads, seeing what's actually occurring with the drones empirically and gathering that data, because they're never perfect. No matter how we've done it, we've never gotten a perfect simulation to be a perfect prototype. Those two keep coming together, and we are very, very good at doing them simultaneously and very fast. So ML is coming into the company now. AI will come into the company as I continue to scale and grow further in time.
Yeah. And then how does the technology address, safety concerns related to drone operations?
Okay. You're saying the technology, let me make sure I understand the question, Khalil. So are they asking about the technology, which is our safety technology, or just the overall Tular design technology?
Yeah, the question just says, how does your technology address safety concerns related to drone operations?
Okay, all right. So one of the things is that we operate under the commercial drone operations in the United States. If you're a commercial drone operating with anything above 0.55 kilograms with a drone, which we do, you're required to have certified remote pilot licenses, and we do. They're called Part 107 licenses. In an airline, you have a Part 121 license for an airline traffic or a transport pilot. So these are licenses that say you're able to operate and you understand the rules that you have to operate in, and you're certified for that. So the first thing is that our people are certified and licensed to be operating, number one. Number two is that I've got a big background in safety myself. I've been a chief of safety for 8,000 people with hundreds of airplanes. I've been a commander. I've made significant safety changes to keep people alive, both in peacetime and in combat. And so what I always try and bring to the table is an experience level, which says we're not going to put anybody in harm's way who's either around us or are us that we don't need to be doing. And there's nothing that we're doing now that we need to hurt anybody along with what we're doing. So what we're doing is we're taking a look at what are our procedures, how are we actually operating. So there's a checklist that we use before we go out and fly. And it says, okay, what are we going to go do? Who's going to do what? If there's a problem, who does what? How do we stop it? How do we abort what's going on? Those kinds of things are brought in from really a military perspective and a safety perspective from flying along my entire career, as well as common sense. And we can't ever exclude that people know when something's not right. The hair stands up on the back of their necks, and they need to have an ability to, in the fighter pilot world, we call it knock it off. So the ability to actually knock it off, stop what we're doing, make sure that we're running it safe. Now, on the commercial side of safety is that the FAA is responsible for the safety aspects outside the military, responsible for the safety aspects of how the airspace is operated and what we're allowed to do with drones and when we're allowed to do them and how we're allowed to do them. So we follow the FAA rules. That's what we have the licenses for as well. So safety is a big factor, probably more so than most people like from me. And that is because none of my folks need to ever get hurt, and we don't need to hurt anybody else in the process as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the crowdfunding campaign. What has been the biggest learning curve when it comes to this crowdfunding campaign?
I would say on the crowdfunding side, the biggest thing is the impact on me as the CEO. The involvement that I have in this is much greater than I had anticipated. I thought that it was, I'd do some stuff and I'd make some inputs. We'd write some web pages and things would be good. But the communication that is required, the communication that the users or the potential investors are looking at is much higher than I had anticipated, and rightfully so. The idea here is that you want to be able to understand, to make an investment, who I am, who the people are in the company, what is the business model, what's the future potential that we're going to be going after, and all those are listed on our Start Engine website right now for you to peruse. And so the idea is that I'm involved in that. I'm spending a lot of time with it. And I care about it because ultimately the success from the investor perspective is going to come from the success that I have inside the company. They're both intertwined and synergistic. And so I work on both of those simultaneously.
And what are some feedback you've gotten from your investors?
The kinds of feedback we've gotten, some of it is direct, right? Some of it is on the website for Start Engine. Some of it is previous investors. So I had 14 initial investors before we ended up coming to Start Engine. The kinds of comments are, where are you in the marketplace? Where's the market going right now? And when are we expecting to see commercial operations? And I've alluded to that we expect that later this year. And that idea about that timing of the market is really what I spend most of my time answering questions about, which is, as we've developed our R&D, where's the market going and when do they meet? And I believe they're getting ready to meet right now. So that's been the predominant discussion. That's why I alluded to it in this discussion as well. I started around the market area because that's going to drive it. That's where the money is.
Um, and then with the campaign, coming to a close, what would you say are the top 5 reasons someone should invest in Target Arm?
5. Okay. There are many. The top 5, though, it's hard to, let me see if I can figure out. So the number one thing is invest in us as an innovative company. We have an amazing spirit in the company of innovation, and that's driven by a second major reason why I think you should invest, and that's the culture that we put into place. So we're highly innovative. That's one reason. And we're going to continue to stay ahead of the market and develop new products. And we're developing a new one right now even. But more importantly is to turn around and say, why is that? And it's the culture that Ryan and myself have built around the company. And I've talked about this in one of the videos that I put out on Start Engine as well. And that is that we don't have a fear of failure. And this is somewhat hard for a lot of people to get used to, which is they're always trying to make sure they always look good. We don't care how you look. We don't care what you did yesterday. We care about what's happening now. What is the performance that you're expecting to see, and how do you contribute to the company? And we want you to go out and test it as far as it'll go. So if again, going back to my analogy, which is our modeling says it's 3, we want you to go out there and prove that it's 3 or prove that it's 2.5. We don't care which one it is, because we're going to learn in both cases. If it's 3, we know that we're validating the model. If it's 2.5, we know we need to fix the model. And so something's wrong between what we understand of the world and what we need to be moving forward with at the same time. So the second thing would be the culture. This fear of failure, we don't have it. We don't allow it. We'd never ascribe blame to anything that's gone on in the company. From a testing perspective, it's always there. The third thing is that this robotics autonomy market that I alluded to in the beginning is coming. And it's coming at an alarming rate from where I sit and we sit inside the company. And that rate is not to be afraid of it, because it's happening. And it's happening for many, many, many right reasons. Is that you get higher efficiency, better throughput, more bang for the buck, more bang for the power that you're putting into something. You're getting more efficient use. A robot can operate a machine faster and quicker and better than I can. And so use those advantages in the arenas that we need to be, and tapping into the robotics autonomy company. And our company has a niche of that. We're not trying to solve the whole world. We're trying to solve the ability to launch and recover a drone autonomously from a vehicle, airborne ship, wherever it happens to be, spacecraft, doesn't matter, while it's moving. It's a very difficult problem while you're moving, because the reference frames keep changing. And so we are in that arena. We're the leaders in that arena. We're very proud of that arena, but that ability to be a part of a new growing opportunity that is massive in nature. So it's the market would be the third thing that I would say would be something that people should be really interested in from an investment perspective. The next thing is that when you take a look at the drone technology, is that we're drone agnostic. So not only are we autonomous while we're moving, but we're drone agnostic. We've designed our tracker sensor fusion engine and our TurboFly capability with our wraparound flight controller and our Maestro software for mission control. All 3 of those work with our Tular device. So the device itself does the launching and recovering, and it's actually the physical capability between the drone and the vehicle, so you can capture it and manipulate it. But what that allows you to do is it allows you to move into the future now with the capability of something that doesn't exist in the marketplace. So you're an innovator at the same time from an investor perspective. But now you've turned around, and what you're being a part of is this, not only this robotics evolution, this autonomy revolution, but you're into a niche market that is untapped, which is being able to launch and recover while you're on the move. So you can imagine, I mean, I use this as an example with other people. I say, you can imagine when you take this to the next step, you could have a Amazon Prime vehicle, not that we have any relationship with Amazon Prime to speak of here, but I'm just using it as an example, that could be coming down an interstate. I'm going to use the Boston to New York connection on I-90, the Mass Pike. You could be coming down the Mass Pike with an Amazon semi-trailer, launching drones from it while you're doing 65 miles an hour, and launching those directly to Amazon trucks, which are then delivering automatically with drones to you, the user that just ordered something. So say that there's a brand new phone that came out, some new fangled phone that's capable, that they've got 10,000 of them on the truck, the semi truck, and they're distributing them because the orders are flying in the opening day, and they're able to get them on out to those other vehicles. What you do is you end up disintermediating the depot. So the time that it takes to actually send stuff to a depot, unload it, sort it, put it into other trucks, sort it, have everybody show up, and then deliver those, you disintermediate that, where you go directly from the semi-trailer to the truck to the person, and you now take it in minutes versus half a day or a day. I sent a package to Boston last night. They got it there at 10:30 this morning through the traditional mechanism that's in place. I could have probably done that in an hour or 2 hours with the future capability that I'm talking about. And you can also daisy chain those as they go forward in time as well. So I've talked about already about 5 or 6 reasons to invest. If there's other questions that people want me to go further into, I'll be happy to do so. But the idea here is that we're drone agnostic, we're autonomous, we're on the move, we're in a marketing arena where there's nobody else there right now, and it's a massive marketplace on top of that.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with before we sign off here today?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being interested in Target Arm. We're very proud of our relationship with our investors. We take great care with our investors. I don't take it lightly that other people are giving us money to move this technology into the future. Ryan and I are unbelievably cash efficient. We don't waste money. We focus it in on all the right things that we believe are going to move the technology forward. There's no frivolous activity that's going on with the company. We want to get this into the marketplace as fast as we can, and we can't do that without that additional capital I talked about in the beginning. And so thank you for your current support and effort. Thank you if you do make an investment. Thank you if you have made an investment. And thank you if you're going to make a future investment, because we believe we're going to change the world with what's going on with Target Arm, and we'd like to do it with you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone who attended, and be on the lookout for the recording of this webinar. We will be posting it on the Start Engine page. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.